What's up everybody? So in this video we're going to install this Lowrance Hook 2.7 on my Perception Outlaw 11.5 fishing kayak. I purchased this orange watertight box from Amazon. I have that link down in the description. The front of my kayak has some grooves. Luckily the box is clear. I am looking through the box and tracing with a Sharpie where exactly it is that I want to put the Velcro on the bottom side. You can see there I'm trying to show you where I put the marks at. Here's a better view of where I'm trying to demonstrate exactly where I'm putting the Velcro at on the outside of the box. That water is going to flow through those channels right there. So I didn't want all that to get wet. I didn't want the stickiness on the Velcro to get wet. Here's the Velcro that I'm using to make the box stick to the kayak. I have the link for that down in the description. So here I'm just trying to figure out the best way that I can get the best cut. Once I figured out how to line it up, then I just made marks with the Sharpie. Once I figured out how I wanted it cut, I just stacked the hook and loop pieces together. That way I could cut them both at the same time. Once I had the pieces cut, I just peeled the back off, stuck it to the box, and then pressed the box down onto the kayak. I bought this off Amazon also. It has a cigarette lighter and it has a USB adapter. I figured this way if I need to I can charge my cell phone or anything else, and I can use the cigarette lighter part to plug my fish finder into. You can see here underneath the battery the pattern that I had made to attach my orange box to the kayak with Velcro. I'm going to use that same Velcro to put the battery in the box so that the battery will be Velcroed into the box so it can't move around. It'll be stationary and removable. So I just stretched a piece of Velcro out across it to see how long I needed it to be. Made both the hook and loop pieces the same length, cut them, and then affixed it to the battery. Off camera I went ahead and drilled the holes, one on each side, that would fit the cigarette lighter input and the USB plug input. Now that I have Velcro on the battery, I'm peeling the adhesive backing off the other side so that I can stick it down into the box. As you can see, everything fits just right. This makes the battery removable from the box, and it also keeps the battery in place in the box so that it doesn't slide around. And then we just plug the battery terminals onto the battery. And here we have the battery velcroed inside the box, and the box velcroed down to the kayak. Lid closed, ready to rock and roll. Both the cigarette lighter and the USB plugs have a rubber cover that goes over top of them. You can see here the USB plug side. That way, if I need to charge a GoPro battery up, or if I need to charge my cell phone, I can charge them all up. Here I am stripping the wires back on the cigarette lighter plug that I bought off of Amazon. I'm just using some butt splice connectors to connect the power cord for the fish finder to the cigarette lighter plug. I didn't have any heat shrink to go over it. However, I'm not real concerned with that right now because I plan on soldering the ends into the plug itself later. And here we are on the bottom side of the kayak and the location that Perception has made to mount your transducer. Just take the two little screws that are already provided out, and then you can mount your bracket right in place. I use the same fish finder on my 20-foot dual console boat. It has the Trippleshot transducer mounted on the boat, but the Trippleshot transducer is too big for my kayak, so I had to purchase a double shot transducer. This way all I have to do is swap the head unit from my 20-foot boat to my kayak. The split shot transducer is a little bigger than a normal bullet size transducer, but it is way smaller than the triple shot transducer. Now I'm feeding the transducer cable up through the scupper hole that Perception had put in that exact spot. It's actually a great location because it comes right up through the top, right where the fish finder mounts at. pulling enough slack up through the top so that I know that I can make it to the fish finder. Now I'm taking a couple of wrenches and tightening up the bolt that holds the transducer to the mounting bracket. Give it a couple turns, get it snug, then you can flip it up into place. Now that I've got it in place, just give it a couple more turns to snug it up so that it won't fall back down. And here's a view of how the transducer sets in place. And here up top you can see where it comes through the scupper hole and goes right up to the fish finder. Now it's time to deal with all that cable. I'd done some research and found that it was not good to cut and splice the cable back together to make the cable shorter. So I had seen and heard of people just taking all that leftover cable and wrapping it up around the transducer, saying that it did not cause any issues. That transducer comes with a lot of cable. However, this is the only option, or let me say the best option, so that you don't have it just laying around coiled up on the deck of the kayak. It took some doing and was a pain in the butt, but I got it all up there. Once I got it all wrapped up in there all nice, I used some wire ties to wire tie it to the bracket, to the transducer, and to itself. I used quite a bit of wire ties to make sure that it was held up there really good. And here we go with the completed install. Pretty clean job. Fish finder works. Wires come down, go underneath that cover that I probably won't put anything under anyways. Peel the cover back. You can see where the cigarette lighter plugs into the box. Power on indicator light, indicating that it's got power. An inside view of the box with the battery, the plugs. Both of those plugs come with all the wiring hardware. It's simple, it basically all just plugs in together. I did put silicone around those plugs as I stuck them into the box, and then tightened the nut down so that no water could come in through the holes if for some reason that much water did happen to get it in the kayak up there on that front deck. And there is the plug for the USB ports. If you're familiar with these Perception Outlaw 11.5 kayaks, you know that right there underneath that logo, that strap right there is for you to stick your paddle up underneath it, and it kind of holds it in place. So even with the battery box mounted there, it should still be fine to use as your paddle holder. And here we are with the underside where the transducer is mounted. And here we are showing that the fish finder is on and working. The GPS map is showing, and we also have a chart on the other side. With the double shot transducer, I will be missing the side scan imaging that is available with the triple shot transducer. However, with the kayak, I feel like I won't need that. I basically wanted the GPS maps, the water temperature, and if I'm deep enough where I can see the structure. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button.